Good afternoon again and welcome back to the West Ham Network. I am Anton. Today I'm bringing you the press conference. Yes, games are coming thick and fast. Shows are coming thick and fast. We're coming so thick and fast that we're even forgetting we're going to be doing shows. And we were on earlier on today, of course, discussing the fantastic victory against Rapid Vienna last night at the London Stadium. And we forgot to direct you into the fact that it would be the Brentford press conference today, which of course it is. But like I said, and like we discussed earlier on today, and like Russ was talking about on his match day debrief, and what a fantastic victory it was last night, and what a great time to be a West Ham fan. What an exciting time to be a West Ham fan. The last 2 years have been a whirlwind of emotions, but predominantly been happy rather than sad. So yeah, it's really, really good times. So I'm going to jump into it. And I'm going to give you his press conference as we know it from today. So we, of course, have got Brentford. We're playing them at home in the league on Sunday before we head into a international break, 2-week international break, which will be good for the squad. However, we do have a lot of players now that are on international duty. So some key players will get a rest, but some will go on and get some valuable key playing time for their international side. So let's get straight into it and talk about team news. David Moyes goes on and discusses Soufal has a chance, and I'm not sure about Ryan Fredericks. They're both not bad, and there's a chance they both could be available. Now, I don't know. I wonder if we should read into that a little bit. Now, I've saw Fredericks training. I saw Red Fredericks running around in the open training session that they had for the Europa League. And it was good to see him moving. So obviously the injury is not as bad as they first thought. I believe that they thought that Soufal would be rested, even though they took him in the squad for the Manchester United League Cup game. And I think he was a minor doubt over the fact if he would be involved in that game because of maybe a little minor knock. They had to play the game, obviously, after Ryan Fredericks came off injured in that game. So I wonder if he's carried forward something from that, and that's why he was missing for the Leeds United game. And of course, missing for the game last night. And I think it would make sense. I don't know. Would it make sense to leave Soufal out if you think it would be the time that he's needed? Do we have enough cover in the back area? I mean, what did you think of Ben Johnson's performance last night? Please, again, if you are watching, put the comments in the chat, and we will engage as much as possible. This show, I should have given you the full notifications. I apologise if it's come out before the notifications. But like I said, we'll just keep going with it anyway. So like I said, he talks about the team news. He talks about Ryan Fredericks and Soufal, and kind of gives you a hint that maybe one, if not both, will be ready to rock and roll. And I just wonder if Soufal comes straight back into that side and he will be ready for it. I think he might be, but make sure you tune in tomorrow evening when we're doing the Brentford preview, and we'll give you as much detail as we can and try and build the starting 11 from that as well. So then he goes on to talk about Benrahma. Of course, Benrahma coming up against his old club in Brentford, and he says he has improved for us. He's taken a bit of time, but coming into the Premier League is not an easy step. It has taken Said a bit of time to understand his role and how to play at this level, but he has been really positive for us. And he really has. You know, it's taken on a bit slower, a bit longer, but that's a mixture of Moyes and a mixture of Benny. He's now got 4 goals this season. And, you know, when I think about the goal he scored yesterday and last night against Rapid Vienna, I mean, what a tough goal. What a clever goal that was to take. You know, he had to, I think I've actually got a picture of that. Let me just see if I can find it for you. The difficulty in bending that ball around to the level that he did, extremely difficult to do. I don't know if I've got that there. We do. Here we are here. I mean, look at the difficulty there. You know, he's got to bend that ball around that Austrian defender and the goalkeeper and finds it perfectly into the bottom right-hand corner. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of praise for Benny, and it's come up against his old club, so he's got a point to prove. I think that will be an interesting one moving forward. Let's go and see. We've got more people in the chat now, so let's go and see who's in the chat. Please keep the comments coming in, and we'll go through the rest of the press conference as well. James Bond, good evening. Hope you're well. No worries, mate. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for coming in and saying hello. Simon, afternoon. Hope you're well. Miss Lee, thank you very much. Good to see you, mate. Ben Johnson can do the job easy. I think he can as well. Got so much faith in that squad. that if Sufal and Fredericks needed to be rested, I'd have a lot of faith in what Ben Johnson is capable of doing. Lee Newham, good to see you. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. Gaza, hi Anton. I'm good, mate. I hope you are as well. Thank you, Oz. Thanks for joining me again. And you're all talking to each other, which I love. So yeah, big plaudits towards Benny. Big plaudits to how Moyes has managed Benny. And a lot of people kind of dug out maybe Moyes last season about his management style of Benrahma, but it seems to be working him dividends. And you see the way he celebrates, you see the way the players grab him and get him around. Like he's a key part to the West Ham squad. He then moves on and talks about Brentford themselves. He says that he's been impressed but not surprised. They have put together a really strong squad and are well coached and a well-run football club. I do not think anybody should be surprised by it, but we have to try and get a victory on Sunday. Of course we do, and we understand the importance of what that game means to West Ham, especially going into the international break. But we have to put respect on the name of Brentford like Moyes does. He's a class act. He puts respect on the opposition team week in and week out, every single time he does a press conference, and that's exactly what he's done with Brentford. However, what we've got with Brentford is a side who have a fantastic scouting system. If you think about all the players they've scouted through the years that we know of, players we were linked to, from Saeed Benrahma to Ollie Watkins to the lad Rico Henry, to all the other players that they've got, and then have major losses in terms of Saeed Benrahma and Ollie Watkins, for example, but then replace them and go and find players like Ivan Toney, who is showing that he can make the step up not just from League One to the Championship, but right now from the Championship to the Premier League in consecutive seasons. So they have a really good scouting network and they are full of surprises. You always find a team that comes up from the Championship is full of surprises. But let's not forget the fact that Brentford were close the season before and they didn't do it. And they always say from the bottom part of the league, Premier League, to the top part of the Championship, it's not much of a difference. But the thing is, if sides come up and they add value to the squad and they've got particular players in particular positions, they can start to kind of challenge opposition teams. And, you just got to look at the never say die attitude that Brentford have got when they played Liverpool, especially going behind and drawing the game 3 each. So, fair play for what they're doing. Again, like I said, we'll have the preview show tomorrow evening, so make sure you join us for that one. We'll have opposition fan on talking more about Brentford as well. He goes on to talk about Ivan Toney. Ivan Toney has done it really well since he's come into the Premier League, but we should not be surprised because he did really well in the Championship before scoring those goals. And that comment there again puts respect onto the Championship. We know Moyes likes to shop around, bringing in quality from the Championship. Benrahma and Bowen, just to name a few. So he's got a lot of respect. He likes that league. He thinks their players are there that are more than capable of stepping up into the Premier League. And Moyes has found a couple of diamonds as well within that. So Ivan Toney is a threat. We all know that. Depending on a lot of people think he scores a lot of penalties. I think his hold-up play is fantastic. I think he's a good all-round striker. I think he's a player that a lot of West Ham fans would be interested in potentially looking at, but he's probably going to be out of our price range. And now, which I'll talk about in a second, Rob Newman's in. We're going to have to put it down to the head of recruitment moving forward. But Ivan Toney, man to watch. We need to absolutely watch what he is going to be doing, 100%. Let's have a look here and see what everyone else is saying in the chat, and we'll move forward into it. Anton, did Stell pick up the coins thrown last night? Wouldn't be surprised, mate. Oz said to Russ earlier too, Yarma's current form is good enough at least to get a chance in the league. I'd say, Oz, would you rest any player for Brentford to give Yarmolenko a shot? That's the question I'd ask you. That's what I'd be interested to hear what you'd say to that. CC, the squad will win a trophy. Could you imagine? I said earlier on, I think it was to Stell on the show, I was like, you've got a route into the Champions League by trying to win the Europa League. You've got a route into the Champions League from finishing in the top 4 in the Premier League. Like, there's options there. Like, we take the League Cup serious. We've already knocked out one of the big guns. Got another big gun to come. So, yeah, it'll going to be an interesting time. Vinay Yarmo has his moments of class around the box. He does. I think we all know that. It's just the fact that his work rate sometimes lets that side of it down. Gaza, we've got some big games coming up, and it's great to look forward to them. It really is. Let's hope we can, do ourselves proud in those games as well. Oz saying he's never a starter now, but if we need a goal and someone's tired, Moyes can have confidence to sub him in earlier than 87 minutes like normal. It's true. But then we saw with Bowen last night, I know Bowen probably will start against Brentford, but the ability to bring him on off the bench and offer a whole new direction. I mean, we've got players there that can play in several different positions for West Ham. So you can see a big difference when Pablo came on last night. I completely agree with you guys. I think West Ham, I'm not saying we were struggling in the game. And Moyes talks about Pablo actually in the press conference, so we'll go into that in a second. But he really did offer us a little bit of extra va-va-voom, and I think it was his work rate pushing us forward, taking the whole team forward, and it's exactly what he did. He had a couple of really good chances as well. Chances that were saved well from the goalkeeper. In actual fact, if one of them had gone in, it would have been a world-class goal, especially at the highest level. Vinay, Bowen Alenko would be awesome. The speed of Bowen and almost finishing, yeah, I think you've said that before, absolutely. Oz, I would rather start Vlasic and Lanzini. I mean, Yarma could do well 70 minutes onwards, and they're tired. Full squad versus Brentford. Yeah, absolutely, mate. Gaza, we need to go with our best 11 against Brentford. There's no mugs. And that's the thing, though. I mean, Gaza, I know we keep saying it, it's on repeat, but what is the best 11? Like, do you not have the confidence in the rest of the squad? I'm not saying you don't, but I think there is that confidence there in the rest of the squad. Like, if Kroll was to play alongside Deckers, alongside Thomas Souček, but I think it'd probably be someone like Deckers, then I'd have the confidence in what he can bring to that team. If he was to play Ben Johnson and Sufat was fit and he plays Ben Johnson, like I can see why you play Ben Johnson and give him a rest, and it kind of works within reasons over the whole kind of team, the whole squad. Everybody else, good to see you, mate. Thank you for joining us. Let me move in to the next part of the press conference, and that is squad rotation. It is really important. We are in a situation where we have great trust in our squad. It is new to us and we have more games and it will be taxing, but as long as we keep them fit, I'm happy to keep rotating and giving them all opportunities to play. And there you go. There it is in a nutshell. He absolutely has the confidence in the squad that he's got. He did it last night. He made 3 substitutions in the 60th minute, I think it was. And in my opinion, they were the right substitutions to make. Really good. I think a lot of fans were also shocked that he was bringing on what you would classify as starting 11, 2 starting 11 players in Bowen and Souček, and not taking off 2 starting 11 players. You could questionably say whether or not Vlasic could be a starting 11 player, but he brought him off. He brought off Antonio as well. And yeah, it's good. The squad rotation we've got is great. The players we've got are great. They're all fighting for each other. They've got this full-blown unity. And this is why, you stick by players like Yarmolenko, because if he's part of that unity, don't get me wrong, or don't get anyone wrong. If he was causing problems, the club wouldn't want him there. Moyes wouldn't want him there, but he's obviously not, and he's obviously adding something to that squad with a bit of value. And do you know what? If he can come on and do that kind of creative role that we all know he's capable of, even if it's for 5 or 10 minutes at the end. But what a great ball through to Antonio. Like, really, really good. And it wasn't just the ball, it was the whole bit of creation he did beforehand. I think he collected ball on the halfway line, done a few things, and then chipped the ball in over to Antonio. Great vision. And of course, Deckers made that run to go through and put the ball in the back of the net. Gaza, is Sufal fit? So he says, I mean, I'll go back to this one again. Sufal has a chance. I'm not sure about Ryan Fredericks. They're both not bad, and there's a chance they both could be available. But the question I would ask you is, Ben Johnson or Sufal in the right back position, especially if we're not so sure that they're going to be fit or not. So let's see what happens with that role. David Moyes goes on to talk about Pablo Fornals. He's a really key player for us. He went under the radar last season. We are thrilled he is in the Spanish squad. Some very good players, England internationals, Spanish ones, Czech ones. So we're building a team that have had very few internationals to quite a few now. And it's so true. And I must admit, do you know what? I think Fornals' worst game I've saw this season or in the last 18 months was probably against Leeds. But then who looked outrageously fantastic against Leeds? Not many players. But the thing is, what Fornals has become for West Ham is a pivotal part of our team and a key player. And last night you saw that when he came off the subs bench and came on and performed and drove the team forward. I love the lad. I love him. He drinks Estrella. He wants to play in Vienna. Pablo Fornals, like what a player. Love it. And I love the fact that Moyes is bigging him up in the presser as well. He then goes on and talks about Rob Newman's appointment to West Ham. who's going to be heading up the recruitment department. He says, I'm pleased we have got somebody to head up our recruitment department. Manchester City have done very well over the years, so hopefully he can bring us some of that. So, of course, it's old news. We knew he was coming into the club, but today was officially, he was introduced into the website and to the fan base. So he's in, and, Moyes is adding his next stamp to the whole rebuilding and restructuring of West Ham. That's exactly what he's done. Moyes finally then goes on and talks about West Ham. I don't think it's only down to me. When I came in, I said I was trying to grow the club and build it. And when you bring players in, sometimes you need a little bit of luck, which I've had with Thomas Souček, Said Benrahma, and Jared Bowen. The players understand you either get on the board or you move on. There's been a massive mentality switch for the players. But we will lose games, but it won't be for the want to trying. I have to give credit to the club as well. They have got behind me and helped me. What a huge statement, in my opinion. A huge statement from David Moyes, a huge statement of intent as well. I love the fact that he doesn't just include a couple of players, but he puts players like Said Benrahma in that. He says here, let's look over that again and built it. When you bring in players, sometimes you need a little bit of luck, which I have had with Tommy Souček, Said Benrahma, and Jared Bowen. I mean, he's highlighted Said Benrahma there, and that's going to do players like Said Benrahma's confidence the world of good. I think we as fans think sometimes that Moyes used to maybe was he fair on Said Benrahma? That's the way that people alluded to me that they felt. But how fairer can you be when you mention him in the top three players of signings you've brought in, and think about Sufal and other players that he's brought in as well to the equation, Zuma, all those sort of players. And what a statement of intent. The players understand you either get on board or you move on. There've been massive mentality switch for the players, but we'll lose games. What I love about that is the mentality switch, but you can see it. You can absolutely see it with abundance. The mentality of the squad has changed. The squad's changed from the, post lockdown when we came back, and it's stuck. And I don't know if that unity that he's created is just been phenomenal for this squad, phenomenal for this squad, and it's beautiful to watch. And it's such a good time to be a West Ham fan. It's so enjoyable seeing everything that's going on, and do you know what? It's so tough getting beat. It's so hard. It's always been hard getting beat. Always getting hard getting beat. But I was talking to some guys last night when I was at the game, and it's funny. Sometimes we're so used to moaning that we've got nothing to moan about, and then suddenly you're trying to think like, oh, what can you? But there's nothing to moan about. You find things, especially when you do a channel like this. You always try and find things. But what a statement! Let me put this one on again. I don't think it's only down to me. When I came in, I said I was trying to grow the club and built it. And when you bring players in, sometimes you need a little bit of luck, which was what I've had with Souček, Benrahma, and Bowen. The players understand you either get on the board or you move on. There's been a massive mentality switch for the players, but we will lose games, but it won't be for the want of trying. I have to give credit to the club as well, because they've got behind me and helped me. And that's down to the fact that Moyes is looking for hard working players. Therefore, he will not sign players that will not offer that work rate whatsoever. So no matter if you're a fan that thinks we should put our hand in our pocket and bring in a player, to me, it looks like Moyes is the decision maker. It absolutely does. He must be. He must have changed things so much now at the club that he's not decision maker. He wouldn't need to say comments like that if he wasn't the decision maker. So yeah, lovely things to see. Let's have a look, see what everyone else is saying in the chat before we head. Victor Fenn is saying, tricky game on Sunday. Brentford have had all week to get ready for this game. We have had one day, but yeah, I'm confident on that. The Brentford bubble will burst eventually. Seen it before with promoted teams. Could do. Gaza, they put 3 past Liverpool, so there's goals in them. At the same time, they conceded 3 themselves. Yes, absolutely. Vinay saying, complete. I don't know what right back. Just kidding. Not bad for a right back. Not bad. Howard Ailes, Johnson did well last night and certainly done enough for a start on Sunday, in my opinion. I think, to be honest, he's capable, more than capable of doing it. And if that's something we need to do, we need to rest Sufal, we need to rest Fredericks in order to allow. We've got the squad there for the reason, and I've got a lot of faith in what Ben Johnson's capable of doing. So I'd be happy if he started, to be honest. Udi Raja Krishnan, hi, hope you're doing well. Looking at their form, it's going to be a high scoring draw, or if we are lucky, we'll probably we'll win probably 2-1. Let's hope we do. I'll take that right now, mate. I'll take that off your hands right now. Gaza, it's good to see Moyes putting the right players at the right time. It's a balancing act, and it's exactly what he's doing, changing the mentality of the West Ham team 100%. Howard Ailes, Mosea, It's a great team around them. His staff are legends and all mustard. I saw that last night as well. I noticed again the presence of Kevin Nolan on the bench. When the players were warming up to come on as a substitute, he was just up there rallying the players. And whenever players were coming up, he was one of the first ones up there, tapping them on the back of the head, saying, "Well played." Like, what an influential team unit we've got. And it sounds like we're getting carried away, but do you know what? We're West Ham fans. We never get a chance to do this. So this is exactly what we are doing. GP, last time we had this kind of unity was under Pardew and Harry, but I don't know, GP. Like, I'm starting to feel in my lifetime as a West Ham fan, this is maybe something I've never experienced before, which is consistency for we're nearly coming up to 2 years before, I think, is it 2 years? Since, no, coming up to 2 years of consistent performing. And again, that can fall down to one man and his team he's built, and that's Mr. David Moyes. Gaza 1 loss in 19. Who would have thought that? It's mental, mate. Absolutely. Mika, is Sufal fit? I mean, we have to wait until the game day. He's saying that he's possibly there or thereabouts, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a change in that position, and I think maybe it could be Ben Johnson, giving Sufal and Fredericks the rest to get them back ready to raring, because we've got plenty of games to come. So there's no worry if they don't play. Johnson looks so much better on the right. William, I mean, listen, credit where credit's due. How he performed against Manchester United in the League Cup at left back, I was so impressed with him, so impressed. And he's not a natural left footer. I was so impressed with what he did in that game. So we've got options, and this is exactly what we can do. Vinay is saying we can thank Roberto to end the Pellegrini era. Vinay, we can thank Roberto for ending it. Yeah, we absolutely could. Gaza, is Sufal worth the risk? See if he plays, then yeah, he obviously is, and that's the way that Moyes sees it. But I don't think he needs to. That's the difference. And if he is being chosen for the Czech Republic squad, he's going to get some game time over the international period. So it might be worthwhile not giving him the Brentford game. And I feel like we've got a clever enough player there to step into that role. We'll see. We'll absolutely see. Listen, that brings an end to David Moyes' Brentford press conference. 8 o'clock, I believe. 8, or let you know soonish. But the player rating show for the game last night will come on. We're going to continue doing it, even though we're talking already about the Brentford game, because it's worthwhile kind of rating the squad. So please join us. Please join us for that, and then we'll have the late show coming out later on. But if you're new around here, subscribe to the channel. If you are watching, please hit the thumbs up. Please leave a comment. Of course, we do like to engage with live comments, but the show is coming to an end. If you're watching, you want to know, this is the David Moyes press conference. What we do is we dissect the press conference and give you statements that he makes from the press conference. And I really like it. It gives me good insight into what Moyes is thinking ahead of a game coming up moving forward. So like I said, if you are new around here, please subscribe to the channel, hit the thumbs up, leave a comment, and we'll see you for the player ratings of the Rapid Vienna game. Stay safe. Keep following the Irons. Come on, West Ham.